Hello to everybody watching the selection of scenes from my new film, The Eye of the Butterfly, Beberashvili in Georgian language. It's a film about an unsuccessful writer, a loser, let's say, who tries by all his might to enter into the world of advertising. As you see in the rushes, the rushes that I selected, they are shot mainly, as we would say, the filmmakers in the long shots, without the small inserts. So it's easier to watch. In this way, you can see the atmosphere and the mood of the film. At this very moment, you can see it depicts the elements of the advertisement for tea. You see a lot of figures, some of them are Orientals, like here. Some of them are not Orientals, Europeans or Scandinavians, Russians, Ukrainians, Uzbek. You will see in the continuation of the film, because it's all mixed up in his head. He's trying very hard to go into this business. In the beginning, I just wanted you to see the pictorial side of my filmmaking. Later on, we will see some. Of course, there are many dialogues with his friends, with his old grandmother with whom he lives, who is a very angry woman at him and at everything that he does, because he's not a good money-making person. But here we see part of his fantasies about the tea. It leads him to Spain, or to some crazy fantastic dancers. We see him sitting, and all these big fat boys trying to seduce people into buying tea. Fat people now are big part of our world, because there are so many overweight people, and we will see in the continuation of the film materials of the rushes that many parts of it are taken. The advertising is done by fat, overweight people. Here at this very moment, we see some people are, they are chosen for a certain advertising. So the producer and the director is seeing it. Of course, we will have it later on in text, but as I told you, the very first moment, I'm trying to show you the pictorial side. Later we will come to the dialogues in a couple of moments. Here he is. Now we see the scene where the actual shooting is taking place, and we see the atmosphere, how they talk to each other. They have very funny dialogues, each trying to abuse the other. They accuse each other of not working well enough. The director accuses everybody of being lazy. Here the people are talking about salaries, the way they have to dance, where are the people who are supposed to work, where is the star, how the producer was angry at everybody yesterday. Here he is trying to imagine to himself how to build a certain scene, because he's ordered by the director of the advertising to show the people, to try to make them buy things, and the only way to do it is to write it. in the best way, in the congenial way, and he's not happy because he thinks that he's not writing it well enough. And at the moment some girls are coming, they are trying to show themselves their dress. They want to see if it is okay for the next scene. And of course, there's this small dialogues. Here is the first one of the first scenes of perfume, advertisement of perfume for very big fat people who are irresistible because of the perfume that they put on. You can see all these girls around. Here is some very merry scene in the beginning. Everybody is dancing, and then there is a dialogue between the writer and the assistant director, who is criticizing, making a lot of noise about the way he writes the advertisement. They are not really happy. You see the director throws his papers out. At the same time, he's sort of very nice to this girl. Here is another scene, another one of many ironic and sarcastic advertising scenes that we see in this film. It's about wine, the good Georgian wine. He says, drink some good Georgian wine. That's all what you need for a very, very happy night. To sleep, to have some nice dreams. Here is another scene after the work, as we see a girl waiting for him because he's very big admirer of girl's beauty, but he needs some money to take her to drink coffee, to go to the coffee shop. But he's not paid, and the girl is gone away, and he's a bit unhappy. Of course, it happens many times to everybody. Here he is home, trying to make himself nicer, probably. And we introduce here one of main protagonists or heroes of the film. That's his grandmother, who is terrorizing him in every possible way, because he's at home supposed to measure her blood pressure, and she's sharing with him whatever she likes to watch over the TV set that they have at home. She likes to see old serials, Americans or French serials, about love, about treason, about whatever, the main thing. And he's obliged and forced to listen to her and to take care of her health, which is very, very, very important to her. And she's, of course, reading to him some newspaper. She wants his reactions, his emotional reactions, and he's trying to work at this time. He wants to write his novels, his little stories, whatever it is. She's not happy, of course. She says, "What a fool you are! Nobody's paying you for doing that. Why don't you find yourself a good job where you can really make some money and be a man, and not just some sort of a weird and crazy person?" And she dislikes his ex-wife of the writer's ex-wife, who comes sometimes to visit him because they remain friends. And as you see, she leaves the room very angry, and she takes place with the writer. They are friends because they like each other. Here is probably it's a scene that happens mainly in his head, because you see that he dances with two nice little girls, but he has still to take care of her. He puts some medicine. He has to lower down her blood pressure, but he tries to maintain a good and happy walk of his life, probably, which is not easy. Here he continues to dance and get amused. He walks around his town. Here, a friend of him comes to visit him with some wine and nice friends and girls. He is, of course, caught at the moment when he's trying to find some inspiration. Somehow, for the inspiration, they try to smell the fish, and later on, the friend proposed him to do some nice pictures of the girls. He's still buried in his fantasies. He sees all these people who are around him, because somehow he configures them in a different way in his head, in his imagination. Of course, everybody is taking his time, disturbing him, but that's the way it is. That's a way of an artist, of a writer. Somehow he has this fish on his head. Probably tries to take away the headache, and he's feeling some rhythm. Here the girl is photographed by a friend. As always, the writer is caught in the charm of the girl, because she is really very nice, very beautiful. She is posing for the photos, and at the moment they are having some dialogues with the photographing friend, small talk, and here his fantasy is taking off. Here, as always, he sees himself surrounded by angels, small ones, different musical rhythms, friends who somehow visit him in very strange ways. He's trying to get into a novel that he's writing, and he's on guard because the novel is taking him to a very different and strange places. Here is back to the advertising pavilion, where the artists or the actors or the circus actors are chosen for the advertisement. Here is part of his dream, one of the parts. The dream depicts different techniques of filming and shooting of the advertisement. Here he's taking to drinking, as many writers do, and he sees in his imagination a small roman that is taking place with a nice shapy girl who is not very happy with his advances, and we see in his dream that he is not quite alone. All his family is there, somebody is taking pictures. We see that he's somehow quite timid. He's not a big hero in that matter. Here is a small part of the commercial of yogurt. People of different nationalities are eating it and are doing this singing, which is very strong. The boy now will say, "Drink the yogurt, and you will be like me." The voice says, right? That's another part of this advertising. They are feeding the big fat boy, and they are singing in this tuba throat singing, this they're singing and continuing the stuff with the advertisement. Yes, and there he is trying as always to persuade the very nice looking girls to listen to him and to his somehow to his nice writing, maybe a poem or something, but normally they are not really attentive to it. Here they are having dialogues there, as everywhere in the world. Georgia is part of the globalization. They have this Kinder surprise all over. They are selling the eggs, and here he somehow imagines this Kinder surprise. Probably we don't have. I don't have here in this rushes the all parts of the advertising, because it has many small parts which were not very easy to assemble, so I choose the long ones, so it will be easier. That's one part of this egg advertisement. here too. Here is the eggs, the big one, with children inside, and they're having the eggs in the hand. So it's some sort of a ironic fantasy about it. Here he is reading a book, and he has this graphic accompaniment or illusion about what he reads there. His imagination is very vivid, because that's the main part of him that lives in some sort of a reality. So we see him with very material things. Here it's a outside scene where there are some dialogues with friends who are trying to teach him how to live, what is the best way to behave in a certain situations. Here we see the backgammon game, and somebody is playing the harmonica and somebody is dancing, and there is this traditional way of playing the harmonica, and they are having some good time around, and probably that's that's a logical termination of this reading. Here is one of his other advertisements that he's imagining. That's small pieces of bublik, that's the way it is called in this part of the world, and this man is very happy about it, and we see this orchestra playing traditional tunes, and here he is a bit nervous, so he's with a pistol, with a gun. And that's the main part of his thinking. That's a girl that he has met. And here he's talking to her. We don't hear his voice, of course, at the moment, but that's the way it is. He's telling her that he might be in love. And he depicts that in dancing, and the people from the advertising scenes are there. He's continuing with his presentation of his love to her. She's quite indifferent, and he gets a bit violent with her, and then they kiss. Here is some sort of ideal setting. And here is the end of our little rushes for you.